Lupin is cruising down the Monaco Grand Prix route when a car cuts him off and challenges him to a race. He loses thanks to a truck driving in his way that Fujiko suspects was set up. The driver, a woman calling herself Kaguya, tasks Lupin with finding the tears of a snowman within the next 10 days. Jigen, enjoying a run of good luck at the local casino, is the next to encounter her. She beats his 4 of a kind with a royal flush and tasks him with finding a mermaid scale. Last but not least, Goemon simply rescues her from a pair of guys and offers to help her out. His task is to get the liver of a dragon in China's Conron range. Fujiko, who's been keeping watch, follows Kaguya out to a castle with the flag of the Phoenix Kingdom on it. She discovers Kaguya is a princess working with an old woman to make some kind of potion with the ingredients the gang are collecting. In the midst of a fight with an octopus, Jigen manages to find a mermaid, and Goemon encounters the dragon he needs with little trouble. While this goes on, Fujiko decides to use Zenigata to get to the bottom of things. Jigen grabs the scale, mostly by accident, while Goemon decides to get the liver by cutting it from inside the dragon. Lupin, meanwhile, has made it to the Himalayas with the help of a Sherpa to track down the snowman. Or Yeti, as the case may be. He hits it in the leg and catches the frozen tears, but its yelling causes an avalanche. Kaguya collects her items, but Jigen follows her, running into Goemon and realising they were all working for her. They can't do much with that info as Zenigata catches them. Kaguya gets the tears from a frozen Lupin, but he's also soon caught. Together again, Jigen rams their car into the police truck and knock it off kilter to escape. After thawing Lupin out, they head out to Kaguya's castle. The potion is completed, but Fujiko was disguised as the old woman and steals it for herself. The rest of the gang want answers, and Kaguya explains that the items are ingredients for an awakening potion. Her husband has been comatose for 10 years and the potion is supposedly able to wake him up. Lupin catches up to Fujiko as she drinks some and explains things. Kaguya is reunited with her husband, but thanks to the potion, Fujiko is unable to sleep for days afterward, with even Zenigata growing tired around her. More of a side story than a full-on heist or anything in this episode, but entertaining enough. Not too much to do with the actual Princess Kaguya story either, besides the impossible tasks. Though given Lupin and the gang can pull off some crazy stuff, it's clear that if anyone could manage said tasks, it would be them. Also the first episode in a while of Fujiko betraying the gang, but actually getting comeuppance for it. May-named Onabest opens an art gallery on a ship, the Venus, with rumours circulating that his plan is to find a bride among the guests. Lupin and Jigen are chased off the ship early into the launch party. Lupin reveals that Onabest was once a gangster who used dirty money to get a hold of his collection, and plans to humiliate him as well as steal it. Onabest gets word of a woman who was set adrift. 3 guesses who, and the first 2 don't count. Lupin operates under the name Mary, learning that Zenigata and Fujiko are also on board. Invited to dinner, Mary seems to have Onabest's full attention. Zenigata warns that Lupin has infiltrated, but Onabest shows that his gallery is attached to a rocket system, designed to take off should the ship flood to a certain level. Despite playing the vulnerable woman at dinner, Lupin gives the game away when he uses the men's bathroom. He's cornered in the lower deck, but Fujiko saves him, and Onabest has Zenigata kicked off the ship. Later, while sharing a drink, Onabest reveals to Lupin that the rumours of looking for a bride are true. Lupin has him drink what he thinks is a sleeping drug, but it turns out Fujiko switched it out for a stimulant that will leave him active for at least a week. Onabest decides that Mary is his choice and chases Lupin around declaring his love for her. Lupin tries to rebuff him by saying he's got an unattractive body and sleeps around, but Onabest says that can all be fixed with surgery. Be interesting to see what kind of surgery fixes sleeping around. Lupin unmasks as a last resort, but in true Some Like It Hot fashion, Onabest declares, nobody's perfect. The wedding goes ahead much to everyone's shock. Jigen's disgusted. Let's face it, Onabest is at least twice Lupin's age. But Lupin explains that this is part of his plan and to get a helicopter ready that evening. The reception is on board the Venus, and Lupin slips away and relieves the gallery guards. He then causes a flood on board to make the paintings rocket away, being caught and airlifted by Jigen and Goemon, with Fujiko chasing after for her share. So we've got Zenigata as the coyote and now a Pepe Le Pew character, albeit as a one-off. Granted, as I mentioned, I think it could also be a Some Like It Hot reference. Certainly shows the lengths Lupin will go to humiliate a target in a heist, though even after that, Onabest still says he can work it out. Makes you wonder what Fujiko put in that drink. We open on a magic show in Hong Kong performed by Chin Tonan. Fujiko appears backstage, claiming she's a big fan, and swaps his glasses for a wiretap pair while he's cleaning up before disappearing. Lupin's also in Hong Kong, but his tour is interrupted by Zenigata. He eventually reaches another of Chin's performances and takes part in the disappearing act. Backstage, Chin reveals he helped because he's Lupin. He asks for help in tracking down a woman called Koran, though the photo's a bit out of date as she'd be about 60 by this point. A man comes in calling Chin Ko Shuzen, and Lupin overhears them arguing about using his real name. As he ponders where he's heard the name, he bumps into a woman who quickly turns him down for a date. She also stole his wallet and recognises the photo of Koran. Back at his hotel, Lupin spots Fujiko listening to something, and distracts her with a call from the lobby. Looking over her notes, he learns that Ko Shuzen was a former researcher on a project about a Peking man's bones who went into hiding with plastic surgery. He also listens in and learns that Chin is using Lupin to find Koran as he gave the bones to her in the past to wait for the value to go up. Leaving Fujiko with Zenigata's frequency, he tells Jigen and Goemon that he wants to steal the bones for himself, as they're the remains of a missing link and therefore priceless. Neither's particularly interested, so Lupin goes it solo, not noticing Fujiko fired a tracker on him. The only thing Lupin finds is Zenigata, who corners him in an alley. He's saved by the woman from before, who takes him to a hotel room. Introducing herself as Shunran, she explains that Koran is her mother, and died some time ago. Her remains, as well as her family's, are stored in Kofuku Temple Charnel House, but they're interrupted by Zenigata again. Shunran takes care of the police while Lupin escapes. Fujiko, meanwhile, approaches Chin and offers her services for a share of the money. She shows them the tracker and use it to lead them right to the temple. She's attacked afterwards, and so is Lupin when he's about to leave with the urn containing the Peking man's remains. Goemon comes to his aid, and Jigen flies in to help pursue Chin, who grab the remains. Chin's stopped by Zenigata, allowing Lupin to grab onto his henchman who was holding the urn. Zenigata also grabs on, and their swaying results in them crashing into the police station. Lupin escapes disguised as a police officer and brings the urn back to the hotel. Shunran then reveals that the Charnel house was rebuilt after being burned down some time ago, and any remains would have burned with it, including the Peking man. So all this for someone else's remains. Fun enough episode, taking on the whole twist of the worthless treasure, as the series does every so often. Gotta say, the urn looks too small to be containing bones though. In Sydney, Zenigata watches a demonstration of Inspector Penguin's special armoured truck that can withstand any punishment. Also fires off sleeping gas. Zenigata's still convinced Lupin will find a way around it, but gives away his true identity by talking him up too much, and the real Zenigata showing up. While escaping, he's lost in thought on how to counter the truck, but a nearby flock of sheep give him an idea. The truck is being used to transport a golden lion statue to Darwin. Zenigata still has misgivings, but gets an idea while looking at the truck. The statue's loaded onto the truck and the journey is pretty uneventful. Well, at least until they're blocked by a flock of sheep. The farmer, a disguised Lupin, gets the transport team to help move them out of the road. He gets the truck itself to back into a specific location and has Jigen lower it into an underground hideout. The drivers think they've gotten Lupin with the sleeping gas, but it turns out they were also wearing gas masks and remove the drivers as they take a closer look. Penguin has joined the search, suggesting that it might have been carried off, but seeing us as a helicopter patrol, it would have noticed. Lupin and Jigen have no luck breaking into the truck, and lament that Goemon and Fujiko are enjoying themselves in Miami right now. Jigen decides to take a look at the statue and finds Zenigata waiting inside. Zenigata gloats that when the door opens he'll be able to arrest Lupin, but this is short-lived. The truck is sealed, and that includes air. Penguin's also discovered their location and has a force ready. Lupin and Jigen drive out, and Jigen tries to convince Lupin to just give up the statue as Zenigata's time is running out. Lupin gives in, driving the truck to Ayers Rock. He leaves a note for Penguin about Zenigata and escapes by kangaroo pouch, vowing to return. The parade goes ahead and the lion statue is delivered to Darwin successfully. Well, at least until Lupin glides in for it. Penguin has him shot down, but Jigen's ready. Penguin gives chase, but Zenigata accidentally knocks him off course, allowing Lupin to escape for this one time as thanks for saving his life. Been a while since we've seen a story with just Lupin and Jigen working together on a heist. We've also got a bit more insight into Lupin and Zenigata's dynamic. At the end of the day, I don't think Lupin would ever let Zenigata die, as we saw back when they were forced to work together in Morocco. Kind of interesting that Jigen, who I always considered to be the more ruthless of the two, was the voice in Lupin's ear to get him to give up before he might have done otherwise. Next time, another tangle with a deadly assassin, an underground auction, a royal wedding, and an overnight bank heist as we reach episode 48. Until then.